Welcome to the show. This is the FNB Women's Super League highlight show. My name is Emmanuel Nkara, and it is almost the end of the season, but there's still a lot to talk about, especially at the top of the table. So let's see how the results were or panned out. Here are the results for round 20. Now, at the top of the results, perhaps the biggest result of the weekend, Unam Bokis drawing 0-0 against FC Ongos. Absolutely incredible. In round 14, FC Ongos defeated Mighty Gunners 1-0. That was a crazy result. In round 17, Arrows Ladies drew 1-1 against Mighty Gunners. Another crazy result. But this result has actually flipped things for the two teams at the top of the table. And Mighty Gunners have now regained their throne at the top of the table. Then Arrows defeated Jalinho Athletic 1-0. Kanene with the goal. Only 15 years old, Kanene. People forget how good she is as a striker, the number 13 for Arrows Ladies. And they still have a 10-game unbeaten streak. Coach Nakali is doing wonders there. Kanene also won Woman of the Match. African Stars defeated Windhoek City 1-0. We have the highlights of that game and the talking points as well. Mighty Angels were defeated 5-0 by their cousins, NDF Mighty Gunners Ladies FC. We have the highlights for that game and all the talking points as well. V-Power Angels were actually won against Desert Foxes. I almost said defeated there because we all want Desert Foxes to at least get one win in the season. But Nancy Labang scoring her 6th goal of the season. Hilda Petrus with an assist, and Hilda Petrus was Woman of the Match in that game. So a good 3 points for Coach Risto. And then the last game saw, unfortunately, the other relegated team, Nast Babes, an institution getting relegated, is actually quite heartbreaking. I must say, 4-0 against Komas Nampo. And a shout out to the number 30, Metuzu. She scored only her 3rd goal of the season. But that goal that she scored a brace in this game, but the first goal she scored was the fastest goal of the season. A minute 32nd from kickoff, she scored the fastest goal. So well done to her and Cassie Amokoto for also getting on the score sheet. So we were in Oshakati, we were in the north for the 2 games, Mighty Angels and Mighty Gunners and African Stars versus Windhoek City. Here are the highlights for those 2 games for round 20. And those were the highlights of the two games that we had from Oshakati round 20. Let's get into the first game, African Stars versus Windhoek City. Now, in the reverse fixture, it was Windhoek City who were defeated by African Stars 1-0. The goal scorer was Maria Kalumbu, the number 12 for African Stars. And in this fixture, Maria Kalumbu was on the bench, and there was a lot of battles on the pitch. It must be said, it was a very good chess match between the two teams. Maria Kalumbu comes in around the 70th minute, and within 5 to 7 minutes, she gets the winning goal. So Windhoek City definitely are haunted by the sight of the African Stars Queen's number 12, Maria Kalumbu. Congratulations to her. And then the game between the two cousins, as I would say, Mighty Angels, the home team, versus NDF Mighty Gunners ladies. 5-0. The reverse fixture was 5-1, but in this game, a clean sheet was earned for Melissa Matthews, the captain. A brace by Lina Alwendu, a brace by Fiola Velete, and both players now have 21 goals, or at the time on Saturday, because we know what Lina did on Sunday. We'll get to that later in the show. But the real player of the game was Millicent Haiquim. 2 assists, but the way she played football there, I watched it live, we were there for commentary, was absolutely brilliant. So well done to Mighty Gunners to keep one hand on the title. Now, let us hear from Millicent. She doesn't really like interviews, but we had to get her on this on the show. She won Woman of the Match, and here is what she had to say.
Hello. Ons het geleer nie aan hierdie liga. You have to take each and every game very serious and give everything. Because all the teams wants to beat the champions or the team that is above them. So our focus was just like, we don't focus on other teams, we focus on ourselves. We take each and every game, like, we take it serious, like a final. And I'm happy for my teammates and for myself and the coach that we took all 2 games serious this weekend, and we have 6 points. We collected 6 points because unfortunately other teams didn't get 6 points like we do. Yeah, ek wil hê almal moet net die game geniet. Like if you don't enjoy the game, then there is no purpose for you to play. Like you have to enjoy the game, and then unfortunately the goals will come also. Yeah, ek hou van soccer. That's all what I can say.
And those were the very humble but very cheerful words of the number 10 for NDF Mighty Gunners, Millicent Haiquim. And also shout out to Unanjemo, the Great Wall of Faith Kachavi, for getting a goal and an assist as a right back for the Gunners. So great 3 points for Coach Salome. So those were the games for round 20. Stay tuned to the show as we will now see what happened on those Sunday games, which means everything, especially at the top of the table. Stay tuned.
It is finally here, a way to save together. FNB WeSave account allows families, friends, and communities to save together using the FNB app, cell phone banking, online banking, or ATM deposit.
We are saving for my education. I want to study at the best university.
FNB WeSave allows 3 to 90 people to save together towards a goal.
Yes, Shiri. We are saving to prepare our homestead for our children and our grandchildren.
Everyone is able to see when a deposit or withdrawal is made and how much.
No, this year there is a big wedding coming and all of us are going to contribute to our WeSave account.
It is simple, secure, and transparent.
Our friend is retiring and we want to celebrate her and give her something special. I made my contribution at the ATM.
Different dreams, different ways to deposit, the best way to save together. Open your FNB WeSave account at an FNB branch today and experience an easier and quicker way to reach your goals together.
Welcome back to the FNB Women's Super League highlight show presented by Mass TV. Now, those were the games before the break for round 20. Let's look at round 21. In a 22-round season. Remember, one more round in this season. Here are the results for round 21. So at the top of the results, Arrows Ladies finally defeated by FC Ongos. FC Ongos, who needed 3 points, that draw against Yunnan Bokis absolutely turned things on its head. So much needed 3 points for Coach Shama. Yvonne Koper scoring her 16th goal of the season. Anna Vision Shikosho scoring her 4th goal. And the 16-year-old Pietra Isis was the woman of the match. So, FC Ongos getting it done. Next, Yunnan Bokis and Jolinho Athletic drew 2-2. Vistorina Nanda and Zuana scoring for Yunnan. And then Amy Brandt and the returning from injury, Asteria Angula scoring her 4th goal of the season. So welcome back to the game, Miss Angula. Then we go to Mighty Angels versus Windhoek City, a 4-0 victory to Windhoek City. We'll talk about that a little bit more after the highlights. We have highlights for that game. And then African Stars were defeated 2-0 by Mighty Gunners. We have the highlights of that game as well. And just the mindset of Mighty Gunners, knowing that FC Ongos drew 0-0 against Yunnan Bokis. So all the talking points there as well. Then the last 2 games, V-Power Angels were defeated 3-1 by Komas Nampo, Katuta, Amukoto, and Javera, the 3 goal scorers there. And then Nancy Labang scoring her 7th goal of the season, still only 17 years of age. And then Nast Babes versus Desert Foxes. We all want Desert Foxes to get a win. We thought that maybe if these 2 relegated teams play each other, maybe Desert Foxes would get a win. But it was Nast Babes who got the 1-0 victory against Desert Foxes. Kahitu scoring her 5th goal of the season. So let us go back to Oshakati. Let us look at the 2 games that we have highlights for. Here they are. So those were the highlights of the 2 games that we got for round 21 on Sunday in Oshakati. So the first game was Mighty Angels versus Windhoek City. And in the reverse fixture, imagine, Windhoek City were defeated 5-1 by the newly promoted Mighty Angels team. So in this reverse fixture, in Mighty Angels' home field, Windhoek City came for revenge, and they got revenge, a 4-0 victory. But it really must be said that Coach Paulus Ashipala for Mighty Angels, they have done the job. They have survived. They were promoted. They survived. So I am not going to be too harsh on them for the display that they had on the Saturday and the Sunday game. They've done what they needed to do. Now they can kind of chill. But yes, McLeod Suses, the player of the game, getting 2 goals, her 10th goal of the season as a number 10. And Joyce Narisis as well, a striker and a centre back, getting 2 assists in this game, taking her tally to 8 assists of the season with 6 goals. Then we go to the big game of the Sunday, African Stars Queens versus NDF Mighty Gunners Ladies. 2-0 was the scoreline. Lorraine Joseph. And while Millicent was the player of the match in the first game, and Lorraine Joseph was the player of the match for this game, Lorraine had an excellent game in the first game on Saturday versus Mighty Angels. She gets on the score sheet here. From that goal, the header from the corner, it was individual battles. Hilma Kanyama, striker, versus Kahiriri, centre back for Gunners. It was Lina Alwendu going down the right wing against Aune Andreas, superstars. It was Millicent in the midfield against Ialo, the number 20 for African Stars. Skillful playmaking in the midfield. Those were the 3 battles that I really saw throughout the game. But in the second half, it was the veteran Rita Stella Williams with her one-touch play, one-touch pass through ball to Lina Alwendu, scoring her 22nd goal of the season, officially taking the throne. Although Viola Velete would, kind of look at that. Viola has 21 goals in the same team as Mighty Gunners, but all 3 points going to the current champions. Now, that result is big because we saw that big result between Unam Bokis and FC Ongos on Saturday. So we had to get words from the head coach of NDF Mighty Gunners Ladies, Coach Salome Iyambo. Here's what she had to say with a smile on her face.
Thank you very much. I think for us, we never gave up. We've been leading this log for as far as I can remember. We went down in 2 weeks' time. That our competitors came and overtook us with 1 point. At some point, it even moved to 3, but we got it back. We never stopped believing that it's not over until the last match is played, and we are definitely on that path. Feeling very excited being in this path, whether there is 1 match to go. We knew it was going to be difficult to come to the north. Northern teams are not quite easy opponents to play, especially at home. But luck was on our side. I think we just stick to our objective. We stick to our plan, and the plan worked out, and we achieved 6 points at the north. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's not good to state this, but it's a fact. We never lost against African Stars in our entire history of football. And we knew it's not always an easy game. And every time we play against them, it's always anyone's game. But the one that really get the 3 points is who puts their, more effort once they step onto the pitch. Yes, we appreciate African Stars. We are sisterhood teams. They did us a favor. But we are not our opponents. We are a different team and different character, and we just stick to our character. I mean, if you can't win the match, you can't win the league. For us, we are going all out. Every other team will be fighting for something. Either they're standing on the logs table just to be able to finish in a good position. They will be fighting. We'll be fighting for a title. We all have something to die for. And we're just coming to play for 3 points.
And those were the happy words and the feeling justified words of the head coach of NDF Mighty Gunners, Coach Salome Iyambo. So those were the results, a big result on Saturday, and NDF Mighty Gunners reaffirming their throne at the top of the table. So after the break, we look at the log table and we look at the remaining fixtures of the season. Stay tuned.
It is finally here, a way to save together. FNB WeSave account allows families, friends, and communities to save together using the FNB app, cell phone banking, online banking, or ATM deposit.
We are saving for my education. I want to study at the best university.
FNB WeSave allows 3 to 90 people to save together towards a goal.
Yes, Shiri, we are saving to prepare our homestead for our children and our grandchildren.
Everyone is able to see when a deposit or withdrawal is made and how much.
No, this year there is a big wedding coming and all of us are going to contribute to our WeSave account.
It is simple, secure, and transparent.
Our friend is retiring and we want to celebrate her and give her something special. I made my contribution at the ATM.
Different dreams, different ways to deposit, the best way to save together. Open your FNB WeSave account at an FNB branch today and experience an easier and quicker way to reach your goals together.
Welcome back to the show. My name is Emmanuel Nkara. So let's look at the FNB Women's Super League log table. Here is what it's all about. At the top of the table, NDF Mighty Gunners ladies stand with 53 points. Let's actually just be honest. NDF Mighty Gunners have been at the top of the table for the majority of the season. They had a blimp. They had a little bit of a hiccup. They were defeated by FC Ongos. They had that draw against Arrows Ladies. But sometimes the football gods give you a glimmer of hope. And that glimmer of hope was UNAM Bokkies and African Stars. 2-0 draws for FC Ongos that changed things. And that goal difference, 63 goal difference, is what I call a ghost point for a team. And whatever happens, they always know that they have that big chunk of an advantage in goal difference. FC Ongos, well, it's been a tough time. Well, it's been a good season for them. Yvonne Koper with 16 goals has really carried the team. Imagine NDF Mighty Gunners have 2 players with 21 goals. Lina Awendu with 22 goals. And only Yvonne Koper is carrying that team with 15 goals. So it was tough. They got a chance by beating Mighty Gunners. Lina Awendu, remember, didn't play in that game. But it's going to go to the end of the season for them. Let's see what happens at the last game. Komas Nampo, they can officially say that they are the 3rd best team in the league. They are a veteran team. They are so well structured. Amukoto, the number 7. Adams, the captain, the number 9. Aina Katuta at all positions in the back 4 has absolutely done well for them. And the substitute, Helena and Javera, one of the most skillful players, always playing with a smile on her face, the number 10. So well done to Komas Nampol. I think it's time that in the coming season, Komas Nampol start to understand that they can also challenge for the title. UNAM Bokkies, they are in 4th. They had an unbeaten streak at the beginning of the season. It was snapped. That's when they had a few games that maybe took them away from being a title contending team. They had a bad result against V-Power Angels, but they do start well. They are well led by their captain, Hilary Gontes. They are well led by their coach, Coach Tuba Shibata. But Komas or UNAM Bokkies will probably get another chance next season. But they do start well, so you must always watch out for UNAM Bokkies. And they can get a pat on the back from NDF Mighty Gunners for what they have done against FC Ongos. African Stars, another team that has always just been there. A little bit of a digression here. They finished 3rd last season. They will finish around 5th in this position. Perhaps maybe a striker, Yvonne Hange, did do well for them in the first 2 months of the season. I believe she was player of the month for one of those months. But they do need an out-and-out striker that can just slot in the delivery that they do get from their midfield. And then Arrows ladies, really a surprise for me. They had a very bad half or first half of the season. Even Coach Nakali admits to that. But the second half has absolutely been brilliant. 10 games unbeaten, which has lifted them to the 6th place. So that's the top 6 at the log table. Goodbye, unfortunately, to Nas Babes and to Desert Foxes. There's still one more game for Desert Foxes to get a win. They perhaps will be in Windhoek in the next fixtures, but that is the log table. We will have some of those game streams, but it is up to you, ladies and gentlemen, to come to the games. Look for the games, FC Ongos. Look for the locations of where Mighty Gunners will be playing in not this weekend, but the following weekend. And yeah, it's going to be nail biting. But here are the fixtures of the games that have to be played this weekend. So those are the upcoming fixtures for this weekend, primarily for Gelino Athletic ladies. And then the next weekend, we will have those fixtures. Follow us on social media, Mass TV, where you will get the fixtures and the venues of the final games. And it's going to be absolutely nail biting, as I said before. So that's our show. We have one last show to go. We will have all the stats, all the awards of all the players. And of course, we will be at the game when the title is lifted by either NDF Mighty Gunners or FC Ongos Ladies. So until next time, I'm Emmanuel Nkara, and we'll see you at the games.